Some people will always have a place in my heart, but not in my life.
Hey, yo, Flory, turn me up.
Because when I tell you that it hurts, it hurts. Envy in your eyes, yet you want trust. Can't tell if you're an enemy or a friend. I mean, back then when I was naive, now I'm older, some say wiser. I'm no fool. I'm only a friend when convenient. Took a while to understand that what was real would never leave. Only when you're in pain and alone, you know who you can really depend on. You say you were a friend, where were you when I needed a hand? Shit, you was following a trend. A friend ain't nothing but $1 in your pocket when the money gone, so are they. And they say a friend in need is a friend indeed. You watched as I drown, now I'm getting around while you in the dog pound. Shit. It's funny how karma has a tendency of bringing things back around. It's not funny when the one you look up to is the one wearing the crown. You nothing but a clown. What you need to do is bring that ass back around town. And like Deja says, smack a nigga with an open hand. You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to make a change, they want to make a difference, but still stuck in the same phase. You got motherfuckers talking about that they want to chase a bag, but stay at home and nag. Then when you ask them what they need, they say less talking, more opinions, no prayers with division. You ask me, y'all need to focus more on revision, rely less on television. How you want a future, you have no vision. This world is just like fiction. What we need is more talking, less opinions, more prayers with no division. Before you come up with a conclusion, giving people false illusions, pick up a book, do your research, learn your history before you end up in a ditch making history. Division and religion isn't working. The only way to show God our faith and love is through our actions. Our convictions is the only thing that really unite us. One God, one nation, different beliefs. There's words that can't fly with the wind. There's insults that are not violent. Meanwhile, while you're home to them, they're killing you on the inside. If I was to tell you that I didn't hurt, I would be lying. Would you believe me if I was to tell you that there's truths that lie, especially when they're telling you that they're indifferent? Getting shoved to the side because you're different. There's a hug out there someone didn't receive today. Probably because of what was said about them yesterday. Probably because of the way they was dressed today. Not realizing that the one that they hate could be the one that saves their day. But you know what? Thanks to them, it's another day in history where you get to flip the pages to your book and speak your story. And Lord, it's unholy. But you know what hurts the most? As I walk down the street and I see how easily we're divided. When we all should be united. One body, one mind, one soul, a million talents. Lord, without you, we're all divided. Forgive them, Lord, for they don't know any better. They don't know that there's someone out there that loves them. Hey, what up, everybody? I hope all of y'all is having a blessed and humble day. I hope all of y'all continue to have a blessed and humble day. Damn, did I unmute this, John? Yeah, I did unmute this, John. All right, everybody, my bad. I want to welcome everybody to the Writers for Life brings you the Let's Talk About It podcast. If you new, listen, on the podcast, we talk about it all. So today, we're going to be talking about people's lives, friendships, family, loyalty, and much more. Am I on the right one? Hold on one second. Blessings, brothers. Blessings. How you doing? Here we go. My bad. Let's talk about it, women. Men, trust issues, toxic. My bad. Let's talk about it. Women, men, trust issues, toxic people, lies, friendships, family, loyalty. And this is an open panel for all those of you that are new. The podcast always has an open panel. You're more welcome to chat, to leave your comments down below on the panel in the chat. Or, you could hop along and let a shorty know you want to hop up here and talk to her. And let's talk about it, right? As women, would you or do you trust other women? Some have trust issues. For so many reasons, what is yours? Men, why do you have a hard time trusting women? Can we bring solutions to the table? Why are us women so divided? Can we unite for our kids' future? Why do older people act worse than children? So let's talk about it all. Blessings, the word blessings. There's so many reasons why I am bringing this up, right? I recently had a panel, one where we was discussing, about should women be charged for falsely accusing men of, and it didn't matter. It could be, falsely accusing a man of, hold on one second. It could be a falsely accusing a man of molestation, rape. I'm sorry to say it like that. It could be, domestic violence. It could have been a pinning a baby on him that wasn't his. Should there be consequences for the women, falsely accusing men, and much more? This panel is also, I want to also see, as a woman, I also want to find out, right? Like, is it something that runs through our DNA, right? Or is it something that our parents and their parents passed along the line when it comes to females? Blessings, Marlene. Blessings. How you doing? Right? These freaking, I'm in the house and you heard that car. I don't know if y'all heard it, but like, why is it so hard for women to unite? Why are we so divided? Why do we fight more? Why does it take longer for us women to, how can I say it, to come together to do what we gotta do? Like, it's like a man could sit here, and this is my opinion. I don't want nobody to get offended. I am going to show a couple videos, and there's going to be a part 2 to this. So, like I said, y'all more than welcome to leave y'all comments and much more. Yeah, I know I gotta show you shit. But I want to know, why is it that we're like, I know there's toxic men, right? But why is women so toxic in so many circumstances? Jealousy. Marlene Sanders says jealousy. I agree with her. I think that has one thing to do. Why are us women so jealous of each other? Like, I'm sorry to say, but I'm about to get a little raw and uncut, right? As women, right? We both got eyes. We could see, we could smell, we could taste, we eat, right? I need you to go. Bedtime. Bye. Bye. Room. Bed. Bye. Give me 1 second, guys. I apologize. This is not a conversation for kids, so I got to make sure my child is out the way. All the way. All right. So back on topic, right? Like, we could shit, we piss, we sit on the toilet to piss to shit, right? Like, we got, you see where I'm coming from? Like, we got all that as women, right? Most people are broken, and putting broken people together only creates broken situations. That's true. But what if a broken person decides to get their shit together? What makes this person and that person, that is still broken? Why still, like, if this person right here that has been broken the same way or probably 10 times worse than what you have been broken, right? If they got their shit together, what makes me think that I can't get my shit together? Maybe I'm thinking wrong. But see, I was taught humbleness at an early age, and I kept being taught humbleness all the way until now. Like, I feel as though some women, even though we're scorned, we choose to still hurt. And I don't know why. And that's what I wish I could understand. I could understand why a lot of women do what they do. But I feel as though that it comes a point in time where us women need to grow up. Because, and the reason I say it is, I've noticed that a lot of older women act worse than us younger women. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm observing this. And I'm talking about older women above, past their 50s, their 60s, already hitting their 70s, probably going into their 80s, acting like if they 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, probably 15, 13, 14. Some of them act like they in their 20s. And some of the women in their 20s act like they in their 50s. Like, you ain't even think that they in their 20s, but they really in their 20s. Willpower, most people don't understand nor know how to use it. That's a fact. It is just crazy because I see that there's toxic men out here, right? But is there more toxic men in reality than what there is good men out here? Because there are good men. And a lot of women seem to make it seem like there are no good men left in this world. And what's crazy is there's a lot of men condoning that shit. The same way that there's a lot of women condoning a lot of shit that, they shouldn't be condoning. The older ones act like they 6. The older ones act like they 5. Hold on 1 second. I'm getting interrupted again. Give me 1 second. Let me see what my daughter wants. Give me 1 second. I apologize. I do apologize. This world is crazy. I would say shady. Ironic, right? Nowadays, you can't trust no one. When you do, niggas be having their panties all in a bunch and getting their own one. Saying the things that you accomplished in life is theirs and that you owe them one. Oh shit, it was still alright. My bad. I apologize for that. I gotta get back to the comments. They never heal, so it becomes learned behavior and it only grows and then it gets passed down. That I agree 100% with the word. That right there is some facts. I had a lot of real old, like I'm talking about the old heads that don't exist no more. Yo, he got an old soul in him. Yo, for the word being as young as he is, he's got an old soul in him. He really do. They never heal, so it becomes learned behavior and it only grows within and gets past. Okay, it's the same thing. My bad. It's about chasing a man or a woman, not a baby or a girl. Shit, what's crazy is half these females is chasing babies. And that's another thing I can't understand. As a grown ass woman, what do you see in a young ass man? Blessings, Nate the Great. Blessings, how you doing? Like, we're talking about little niggas that can't even wipe their own ass. They still probably need diapers to, like they don't even know how to use the toilet paper right in the bathroom when they go. They don't even know they got to shake and, clean. Sorry, and I'm a woman saying that. My baby pops taught me that shit. So, like, as grown women, like, what do y'all see in these young ass men? I'm sorry to say it, but I'm about to show a couple videos. But I am kind of curious, and I think this is a really good topic. Like, men, is it your past relationships that make it hard for you to trust other women? And for women, why is it so hard? Like, I've asked this question, right, and I've gotten two sides of a story with different women. I've had the women that tell me that they have trust issues because of how they've been stabbed by other women. And I've had women tell me they got trust issues for the same reason I've had trust issues with other women. Your mom. And you know what's crazy? A lot of men tell me they have trust issues with women because of their mom, including the famous Kevin Gates. And he says it on, I think there's a lot of clips of Kevin Gates saying that he has a lot of trust issues with women because of his mom. Like, could the relationship that you had with your parents really affect your future with your future spouse, with the person that you want to be with? And what's crazy is, how can we like really, really stop hurting? Like, how many times do we have to lose the right one to really understand that the next one isn't going to do what the last one did? See, it took for me, and I'm going to be very honest with y'all, it took for me to lose the father of my kids, to bury him, to really understand what I really had, to really understand that I had a man next to me that was willing to give me his all. And I was never going to ever get that back. I was never going to wake up and say, babe, I love you. How you doing? Good morning. How's your day? He wasn't going to ever text me and check on me no more. Like, there was not going to be no more fights and no more making up after this. Now he's 6 feet under, nor his kids can see him, and neither can I. So it kind of taught me, like, damn, he was willing to give you his all the way up to his last breath, even though the way he died wasn't the right way. But I understand. It got me to understand that not all men are the same. Some men are willing to sit here and give their lives for you. They're not willing to be stepped on. Because, listen, at the end of the day, real women don't even want just men. Some people call them simps. And it's messed up, but at the end of the day, a yes man gets played. I know a man doesn't want a woman. Well, let me back that up. I don't know if it's true. I got to ask a lot of these men. if y'all want women that just cater to you. But I think, yeah, I'm not sure, but I would have to do like a little poll on that to get the right analytics, the right statistics on that, John. Let me check. Never know what folks go through, and that's a fact. See, so many people are scarred, and listen, a lot of us kids, a lot of us are, how can I say it? A lot of us carry our scars tattooed on our skin. I don't know if y'all understand what I mean by that. It's kind of hard for me to break it down a little more than what I have broken it down. My issue was me. I was jealous of other people because I didn't love myself and work on my issues. Once I did the inner work, all right, let me read from over here. My issue was me. I was jealous of other people because I didn't love myself and work on my issues. Once I did the inner work, I can be joyful and at peace and can celebrate others. And that's a fact. Have y'all ever heard of that phrase? If you can't love you can't love nobody else unless you love yourself. And that's some real shit. I learned it. My baby pops used to tell me that a lot. And I used to tell him, like, yo, nigga, like, stop playing with me. Like, I used to curse him out for no reason. But see, I was young, ignorant. He was way older than me. I wasn't ready for a relationship, but I got into a relationship. And that's something that a lot of us females, and it's crazy. I was lucky that he wasn't a man that was abusive. He wasn't a man that used me. He wasn't a man that stepped over me. So yeah, I was kind of lucky. But I was young and ignorant when I got into a relationship. And what's crazy is I gave myself a chance with him because he was so different from everybody else. And I have a lot of trust issues, but I jumped into that relationship not trusting men, not even trusting women, because I didn't trust my mom. I couldn't even go to my mom. He was a mama's boy. That's the crazy part. I couldn't go to my mom. I had trust issues, and to this day, sometimes it's like I can't say I don't trust women because I do trust a lot of women, right? But it's kind of like I go by vibes, and I said that before. I go by vibes. If a woman shows me that she's like this, because believe it or not, people show their true colors after a while, and the word says it a lot. Let them keep talking; they'll show you who they really are. The word, if y'all don't know who the word is, go check them out. Go check him out. Like really good topics, really good panel. Nate the Great podcast is another channel that y'all really need to go watch. Really go watch. Like positive vibes, great conversations. Go check them out. People asses the present with memories, experience. Hold on one second. People asses the present with memories, experience, and information of the past. Depending on how you view your past determines how you see your present and how you navigate the future. The word facts. Facts. Because listen, I had to learn how to love myself in order to love the person that I'm with. And before I didn't love myself enough. I thought I wasn't worthy. I thought I wasn't good. I thought that everything that person said to me when they was hurting me was true about me. And then at the same time, it's like I had a mom that tried to be there. I'm not going to knock her down for that, but she didn't pay attention. She didn't listen. I'm not going to knock her down. She tried to be a mom. That's how I see it. That's my opinion. It's kind of like now that I'm older and I see her story and her situation, it's kind of like, oh shit. She was guided worse than what she guided me. She was taught worse than what she taught me. So at the end of the day, it's like, how many of us got parents that are like that? That, got raised the way they was raised on some fucked up shit. Listen, I was the girl in the house. I had to clean. I had to cook. Because my brothers were boys, they didn't have to do nothing. My little sisters, because they were younger than me, they had it good. I had to wash their clothes. I lived the old school way. Real shit. Like for people that think, oh no man, I wasn't on that new era shit. They had me fucking mopping and sweeping floors, cleaning toilets. I had to fucking make breakfast. I had to make lunch. I had to make dinner. I had to watch kids. At times, listen, I took my little sister to all the little trips I had with my friends. Like I got very vengeful at one point with my mom. Like, oh, all right, you want me to keep watching your child while you out there having fun and doing this and doing? Oh, okay, come on, little sis, stroller and all. It got to the point where my little sister, I was 10, 11, 12 years old. My little sister was calling me mom, and I'm her sister. My mom put the burden of her world on my shoulders. And for a while, I thought I was doing something wrong. Real shit. Like, why is she coming at me? Why is she yelling at me? What the fuck did I do wrong? I didn't even give birth to this baby. Like, can you just leave me alone? Like, this is your child. And then to top it off, lady, you lied to me my whole life. I didn't find out who my dad was until I was 16 years old. You told me another man was my father. I found out the truth when I was like 5 or 6, but I didn't find out who he was until I was 16. And then I didn't start meeting my family members until I got older. And that's little by little. And you want to know why? Because I searched. I kept looking. My last name, somewhere, some way, there's a man that has my DNA. But the part of my mom lying to me, and people be like, damn, Ray, like, no, listen, I don't lie. I may hold something back for a minute. And that's how I am, real shit. I may hold some shit back for a minute and then spill the beans because I'm not going to be able to hold it long. And then I'll tell you what it is. But lying, no, there's no way in hell that I'm going to sit here and lie, sugarcoat. You got me fucked up because I hated it when it was done to me. I will never do it to nobody else. What's the point of lying? You know what I learned? That you can't cover the sun with one finger. Every old head told me that. And it took me a minute to figure that out. But my whole life, I try to figure out why is it that, listen, even though I didn't trust men, there was a lot of men out there that proved to me that they could be trusted, right? And that they wasn't the same as other men. And they went out their way. And I'm not saying to sleep with a shorty or none of that. They went out their way to show me that they're not like these disgusting, ratchet ass niggas out here. And I say niggas, yes, because that's what they are. They're not men. They're not men. So a lot of these men out here taught me that at the end of the day, the pain that I was carrying, the pain that was tatted that I had tatted on my skin, that pain, all I had to do was turn that pain into motivation, learn how to love myself, and get rid of all the toxic people that was giving me the wrong advice. Throw them in the fucking trash can. And guess what happened after I did all that? I learned who I was. I learned I wanted to be in life, what I wanted in life, the type of men I wanted to be with. Because I can't say I learned that I wanted to be with this type of men because I had a man raise me. In reality, these streets raised me. The old people around me raised me. My mama gave me a house, a roof over my head, and food. That's why I'm always going to be grateful for her. Yes. But at the same time, mentally abused me. And y'all wonder why I had trust issues? Yeah, a lot of us got trust issues for different reasons. I've seen a lot of my friends get cheated on. I've seen a lot of my friends get abused. But you know what I never noticed and I've never seen a lot of women do? Right? I hear how many women get abused, but I've never heard one man or one woman speak up and say, yeah, let me be honest. I beat the shit out my fucking husband because he let me. And it's happened. I seen it grow up. I know this one lady, she was married to this one man, always a yes man. He was a yes man. He's the reason why, and I'm going to tell y'all who he is. He's my sister's uncle. That's the funny part, right? He's the reason why I will never date a yes man. Never, ever. They are fucking walking doormats. You could do whatever you want with them. Real shit. And don't get mad at me, but it's the truth. It's the facts. It's what I've seen. The conclusion I've come up seeing the shit that I've seen growing up. Like she used to beat the shit out this man. Listen, she was 5'8", probably 5'9". This man, I'm 4'11". This man was probably 5'1", 5'2". Because I was always curious, like, damn. When I got a little older, I was always wondering, like, she's like, yay. Hi, this guy's like my size. I wonder how the hell do they do to do? It's one of my curiosities, like on some real shit. I was kind of curious, like, god damn, it's like David versus Goliath. Like, listen, later on the line, people told me. Now I'm kind of mad at myself for even asking. Real shit. But anyways, let me read the chat real quick, and then I'm gonna start showing these videos. But I am kind of like curious, like a lot of women cheat, right? And they don't get caught. A lot of men cheat and they get caught. right away. A woman screams rape, a woman screams domestic violence, and a man is locked up. It doesn't take long for a man to get arrested. But here's the thing. I've always asked this question, and I grew up, right? I went to therapy with a lot of them. Right? Why when a boy or a man screams rape, or a boy or a man screams domestic violence, it takes a long time for anybody to believe that a man went through any one of them type of situations. When a woman straight up lies like that and then ruins a man's life, and then imagine ruining a boy's life at a young age for lying like that too. We've seen plenty of cases, but we want to sugarcoat it. Why? We think that because we're women, oh, we're supposed to be emotional. But let me ask you all a question. Men have beating hearts too, right? They have emotion, they have feelings too, right? Because if we love them, we expect for them to love us back, right? Love works both ways. There's no love, there's no trust. There's no trust, there's no love. But maybe I'm wrong. Once I found out that people project their insecurities and fears, and I think that's the biggest problem nowadays. Once I found out exactly what Marlene, you're a therapist? Once I found out that people project their insecurities and fears, I realized it ain't about me. It was them. Facts. A lot of people do project their insecurities, and I've noticed that. That's how I was raised. Girls did all the work, boys did nothing. That's why I hated my childhood. Was a show, not a child. Was a slave, not a child. And that's a fact. Listen, a lot of kids grew up having it all, but a lot of us grew up like if we were slaves. So my question is, right, I understand where Marlene is coming from, right? My question is, right, men, if she didn't do it to you, do you think it's okay to hurt her or do what the last girl did to you, or did whatever you seen your mom put your dad through, or a friend put another man through? Do you think it is okay to make a good girl go through it? Women, do y'all think that is okay just because he did it? It's the same question, just vice versa. Do y'all think that it's okay for the man to have to pay for the past consequences? See, because it's crazy, right? Imagine you putting yourself in them type of shoes, right? Because he thought that you was loving him, right? The whole time he's head over heels for you, thinking that you're feeling the same way. But come to find out, he was nothing but a game. You were making him pay for what the last one did. Now him doing the same thing. They say it's a cycle, but why should we keep that cycle going? Like, what is it that your child have to go through, what you went through for you to realize where you went wrong? Because when I keep telling y'all, when karma hits, karma don't hit you. And when it does hit you, it's going to hit you with the ones you love the most. Either exactly how you did it or worse. And you couldn't complain about it. Facts, back then you couldn't. Let me show y'all these videos real quick. So they're all based on trust issues, whether men trust women or women trust men. I really would like to know. I would like to see if there's like a therapist or somebody like that will come up on my panel, and I could just like have a little conversation with them and see if they could tell me, or a psychologist, not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and they could tell me why is it that it's so hard for us women to either trust each other or come together long enough to accomplish something. Now I want you to listen to what this girl says. So these are TikTok videos that I found.
Do you trust your man around other women?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you trust other women around your man?
No.
If women don't even trust other women, why would they expect a man to trust women?
That's a good point. That's a good point, actually. I just feel like women do it because they're...
So that is a really good point. If us women can't even trust other women, how do we expect other men to trust women? And that's a great question. He really had a great question. Blessings, Miss 702. Blessings.
They're insecure, so they want to see like if the guy will leave their girlfriend for them.
Do you trust your man around other women?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you trust your man around other women?
Yes.
Do you trust your man around? Do you trust your man around?
What the hell? Is it just that one? Hold on, guys, because there was another video. Where is it?
All right, Sean, let me ask you a question. Do you trust any females? What's so funny, Boston?
No! This is day room, bro. Hey, what? No good. No good for a nigga, bro. On some G shit, bro. Like mental man, bro. These is no good. Move, bitch. Can't be with you.
He's bugging.
Studio sound, you know the rap.
Do you trust your man?
Ben, do you support Black Lives Matter?
Yes.
Do you support LGBTQ? Ben, do you support Black Lives Matter?
What the hell?
Yeah.
My bad for that. All right, this took me to another thing. I don't know what happened, but I had a couple of videos lined up on here. But basically, the whole point of these little TikTok videos is crazy how men and women don't trust women. The whole point of it, each video shows how men and women don't trust women. Like, are women really that evil that men cannot trust her or other women cannot trust them? So let's see what this. Let's keep sharing me. I'm not trying to share the live. Hold on 1 second. No. Let's present. Yes, share screen.
There are two types of women that other.
So this man is saying that there's two types of women.
There are two types
and this
of
is the
women.
reason why those women are hated. So I'm going to react to these videos right with y'all. And I am going to also do a part 2 because it is kind of late. So I'm going to do this and I'm going to do a part 2. Hopefully on a part 2, I can get men and women up here. Y'all can speak on it, give y'all perspectives, give y'all opinions, and let's talk about it. Can us women bring solutions to the table? Can there be a way that we could, how can I say it? Like, if we don't get along with each other, just, all right, leave things where they at. If we can't work it out and move on instead of holding grudges the way we hold grudges, is there a reason that we should be jealous of other women? Is there a reason that we should hate other women?
That other women hate. Those are the socially conservative women who maintain their chastity, and those are the promiscuous women who sleep with lots and lots of men. This is where the thin veneer of third wave feminism starts to fall away, when you realize that the ideal of supporting women to make their only choices only goes as far as when those women are not seen as a personal threat. Socially conservative women and highly promiscuous women are both threats, and so are both viewed by other women as highly suspicious, though for different reasons and in different ways. Let's look at promiscuous women first. No matter how socially liberal, how open-minded a woman says that she is, how progressive, ultimately it's just going to be very surface level because it's still created by cultural programming. It's never actually going to replace the deeply held evolutionary instincts that are deeply ingrained into her biology. One of those instincts that all women have is a suspicion of promiscuous women, and there are good reasons for this. The first reason is obvious. The promiscuous woman is seen as a threat to the other woman's relationship, to the bond that she has with a man. Independent of her individual personality, she's a threat simply because of her promiscuity. From the evolution.
So wouldn't that mean that me being in a relationship, being jealous of that woman or hating or feeling some type of that woman, wouldn't that be me not trusting the person that I'm with? He makes a good point, but it also makes me to think like, damn, that means that I have trust issues. And should we hop into a relationship having trust issues is our biggest question.
Evolutionary perspective, if a man does succeed in impregnating a woman without giving her any commitment, that's like the biggest cheat codes that biology has ever come across. It's like winning the evolutionary lottery. He could pass on his genes via 1,000 different promiscuous women without committing to any of them. And though there'll be a reduced likelihood that the children will survive, just by the numbers, enough will, so much so that it makes his monogamous neighbor down the road look like an evolutionary failure. In evolutionary terms, the payoff is so huge that the male brain is actually hardwired to take notice of promiscuous women and promiscuous behavior. Our genes have designed us this way so that in the instance that we come across a promiscuous woman and there's the chance to mate with her, our genes are like, yes, do it. This is an unrepeatable opportunity. And so our brains get flooded with motivation and dopamine and other pleasure chemicals to try and incentivize us to take advantage of that situation. Women are painfully aware of this.
So basically, he's trying to say that men cannot keep it in their pants. It's hard for, is it true? Men, for anybody that catches the replay, if anybody's in the chat, because I'm watching the video, let me look at the phone real quick. All right, so for anybody that does catch the replay, is it true? Like, is it really hard for y'all, to keep it in your pants?
This male weakness, to always be on the lookout for that evolutionary jackpot. And it's why women enforce such strict social controls for how all women should engage with men sexually. In case you haven't realized, strict social controls is just a nice way of saying slut shaming. Slut shaming is not some modern invention by the new generation. It's not even a cultural phenomena. It takes on different forms based on the culture that you're in, but it's much deeper than that. It's biological because evolution positively selected for this trait, where women would enforce each other's behavior and make sure that no women were acting so promiscuously as to tempt men away from their partnerships. One of women's biggest fears is that their chosen man is going to leave her and her children to survive on their own just because he's been tempted off by the latest promiscuous woman who crossed paths with him. If this new woman, this promiscuous woman, gets pregnant to her man, then there's the danger that he's going to have to split his time, energy, and resources between the two families, or worse still, abandon.
So let me ask you a question. If a man cheats and he gets another woman pregnant, and that's for all y'all women out here, right? Because I am going to have a part two. I'm going to have a part two because I know it's late. A lot of people ain't going to be up. So I'm still going to do my reaction video. I already gave y'all my thoughts and my opinion. The questions I'm going to ask, I'm going to repeat them type of questions again on the part two to this live when I do it. So like I said, I hope I get more people. And y'all opinions matter. Y'all comments matter. You never know if what you say on this chat could help somebody else in the future. And from what I've seen and what I've learned, when people say certain things here in the chat, it does help the next person. So trust me, we're not here to judge. We're here to bring awareness. We're here to bring the news, and we're here to talk about it. Let's bring solutions to the table. We're not here to beef, because if we're beefing, we can't build. We can't get along. If we don't get along together, listen, how can we do anything? So kind of like, yo, this is crazy. Is it really hard for a man to keep it in his pants though? I'm kind of curious. Like, if you have a woman that you really, really, really love, would temptation beat it, or would the love for your woman beat that temptation? Would temptation beat love, or would love beat temptation? This is a real honest question, like a real serious question for a lot of y'all men. Like, can I get an honest answer out of all y'all real men out here?
In her and shack up with the new girl. So what you're seeing when women slut shame each other is punishment being doled out for breaking rank.
Oh snap! And my bad. And for y'all women out here, like if y'all man cheats and get another woman pregnant, would you take him back, or would you, how can I say it, move on? And if you do take him back, would you hold this grudge against him? Would you make him pay? Is that the reason why you took him back? In my opinion, I think it's better to move on than to hold that grudge, which will end up hurting both of y'all in the long run. But that's my opinion. And I don't think a lot of people think like that, but I think it should be like that. Like, move on. It's not meant to be.
For violating this collective agreement. And women can be vicious to each other. When one
Yes.
woman sees another acting in a promiscuous way, it can actually feel as though they're being personally attacked by her behavior. It's as though that promiscuous woman is a direct, immediate personal threat to the life of her and her children, both those that exist and in the conceptual future. That's one aspect, but there's also the sense that when a woman acts promiscuously, she is. There are two types of women that other women hate. Those are the socially conservative women, families, or worse still, abandon her and shack up with a new girl. So what you're seeing when women slut shame each other is punishment being doled out for breaking ranks, for violating this collective agreement. And women can be vicious to each other. When one woman sees another acting in a promiscuous way, it can actually feel as though they're being personally attacked.
My bad. I was trying to fix that. I apologize for those. I was trying to fix it, but this is he makes really good point. He's been making really good points. How many of y'all agree with him? How many of y'all believe that this is the reason why a lot of women behave the way they do towards other women? This is really the reason why other women. I don't see a reason why I shouldn't trust another woman. If I'm in a relationship and he messes up, then he's gone. Like, I feel as though that before we get married, that's the test. But I don't know, to each his own, right? But why hold a grudge on somebody that didn't do it to you is my biggest question. If this person wasn't the one that cheated, this person wasn't the one that abused you, this person wasn't the one that got another girl pregnant, why do we take out what we feel about the last person on the recent person that's trying to give us everything? A lot of men do it too, though. A lot of men do it too. Y'all not safe. There's going to be a panel for that too.
Act by her behavior. It's as though that promiscuous woman is a direct, immediate personal threat to the life of her and her children, both those that exist and in the conceptual future. That's one aspect, but there's also the sense that when a woman acts promiscuously, she is reducing the collective bargaining power of all women by reducing the quality and the value of what they have to offer. Because when you think about it, when a woman is negotiating for commitment in a relationship, what she has to offer him is sexual access. And if there's some woman down the road who's offering that up for free or for very little commitment, then it means that she has something less valuable to tempt him to be able to commit to her with. If you've ever wondered why that really slutty girl in high school was really popular with all the guys, but universally hated by all of the women, that's your answer. She's a threat. Now, by contrast, the socially conservative or prudish women who don't sleep around at all are also disliked by women. But in this instance, the cause is not biological, it's psychological. To understand why, you need to appreciate that the easiest way for a woman to get a self-esteem boost is through sexual validation from men. Sure, she could work really hard to achieve professional success. She could rack up accomplishments in the creative sphere or develop her inner self and become a highly ethical person. But all of that takes a lot of work and energy. If a woman is looking for a cheap, easy, accessible high, some proof that she is desirable and valuable, it's so much easier to swipe on Tinder, to post a provocative photo on Instagram, to go out to a club wearing a low-cut top, and if none of those work, to sleep with a guy. With a self-esteem boost like that, so readily available, it is highly tempting for women to use that method. Even high-quality women are likely to slip up a few times in a lifetime. It's not their usual value system, but they're feeling down, they're feeling lonely, this guy seems nice. Okay, let's have a one-night stand. So that's high-quality women, but most women are not high quality. And even though they wouldn't consider themselves to be promiscuous, if you actually looked at their behavior throughout their 20s, you'd probably find a number of instances where they had sex outside of a committed relationship. Most women will try and not make a habit of it, but it is an option that they'll use every now and then. That instant ego boost when it's necessary. But from an evolutionary perspective, casual sex
It's true. Like, there's a lot of women out here that don't have the tendency of fucking Tom, Dick, and Harry. But when they do, and when they choose, maybe I'm wrong, because I've got a lot of friends like that. And when I was single too, like shit, if I got the chemistry and I like this person, like, fuck it. Like, don't call me, lose my number. I've done it. Like, fuck it, that's just gonna be a one night stand. Like, I don't.
sex is a terrible choice for a woman because she sleeps with him and potentially gets pregnant, but she has no idea if this guy's going to stick around and commit to her. That puts her survival and the survival of her children in massive danger.
Mhm.
There's also the risk that the woman will get a reputation. And if everybody knows that this woman sleeps around a lot, then men are going to be far less inclined to invest in her, to commit to her, because there's always going to be that fear that the man has of paternity certainty.
But what's crazy is, right, a lot of men have a tendency of doing that exactly opposite of what you just said. What is it? Like, I don't understand. The men say, right, that they don't like women that are like that. They don't like women that are, let me call them ladies of the nights, right? But they're the first thing that they fall for. But I did learn that not all men fall for temptation. Not all men fall for temptation.
I mean, I hope that the children are mine, but I know this woman's past. I know that she's been promiscuous. How can I be sure that these children are actually mine? Women have a difficult time understanding just how important paternity certainty is for men. It's one of those unique emotions only experienced by our gender, but it is the primary driving force behind why men seek out chaste women. So with all of that said, women should be in touch with that part of their biology that says, this is risky. Having sex outside of a committed relationship is not a good idea. I know that we have birth control now. I'm not talking about the actual practical dangers of getting pregnant. I'm talking about the evolutionary instincts that are inside us and continue to guide our behavior. And so how do those evolutionary instincts react when a woman has been promiscuous? How does she feel the next day? She feels regret. But no one likes to feel regret. That's not a pleasant emotion. No one wants to feel guilty. No one wants to feel ashamed. And so most women will block those emotions, and they'll do this with some cognitive rationalizations. It's just sex, doesn't really mean anything. Men do it all the time. What's the big deal? This is me being a progressive person. This is me being a highly independent sexual woman, owning my own inner goddess. These rationalizations are necessary because she knows at a gut level that casual sex is not a good idea. And that is why there is animosity from women towards socially conservative women, because in their chastity, they are acting the way that women should act, and thereby inadvertently showing up the failures of the women who do engage in casual promiscuity. If you're falling short of the standards that you know that you should hold yourself to, one of the best ways to cope with your failure is to convince yourself that everybody else is doing the same thing, that really there's no possibility of another path. You know, this is inevitable. Everyone's going to fall down. Everyone's going to fail, except that not everybody does fail. There are women who hold themselves to high standards and meet those standards. In doing so, they demonstrate that it's possible, and that if you're falling short of these standards, that's on you. That's your responsibility. This is why women spend time with other women of similar levels of promiscuity, so that they can reinforce each other's behavior. That way, they are all complicit in their collective failure to maintain standards. If they do come across a woman who maintains her chastity and only has sex with men inside committed relationships, then they're confronted with their own failures, and that brings with it a bunch of negative emotion, which they then project outwards onto that woman. Anger, condescension, fake compassion. Oh, you poor naive thing, still holding on to tradition, still captive to the patriarchal idea that.
And that's another thing. I don't listen. Tradition. I don't think we all should be following by tradition, because if we went by tradition, then a lot of us should be single. Because listen, you can't tell the heart. You can't tell the heart who to love. Like when your heart puts his eyes on this person, that's what your heart wants. You can't force love for somebody else just because out of the blue. No, it doesn't work like that. And if you don't trust somebody, you can't be in a relationship with somebody. Unless you learn how to love yourself, you can't be with nobody. Because you have to learn how to love yourself first before you can love anybody else. A lot of women right now are so scorned to the point where they can't see the good in the next person. And I feel as though that us as women and as men, when we go through such trauma in relationships, I've said it to a lot of men and I've said it to a lot of women. I've gotten real bad responses from women compared to the men. When you go through some type of trauma in a relationship, I feel as though, and I'm not no therapist, I'm not no counselor, I'm letting it be known right now, but I'm giving back a little bit of the advice that was given to me. You need to give yourself a little bit of time to yourself. Learn who you are, what you want in life, what you want to do. Figure out what your next step is going to be. Figure out you. Because you can't sit here and try to figure out who you are and try to figure out if you're going to learn how to love yourself and try to love somebody else when you haven't figured out who you are yet and what you want. And a lot of us haven't figured it out yet. But a lot of us and a lot of people out there have learned how to humble themselves, how to take the time to think about what they're doing, do their research before they hop in a relationship. A lot of these trust issues, I think we bring them upon ourselves. And I say, I think. That's just my opinion. And I feel as though a lot of us had chances to, heal ourselves, but we choose to keep hurting. We've had chances to take toxic people out of our lives, but we decide to keep them there for some reason and push away the good people and then keep saying that there's nobody good there left. Let's finish listening to what he's got to say. Like I said, there's going to be a part 2. I want to thank everybody that is rocking out with a shorty, has rocked out with a shorty, because y'all ain't have to be here. Y'all could have been anywhere else, but y'all rocked out with a shorty today.
That fetishizes virginity instead of empowering yourself with your own sexuality like we do. By pretending like they are the superior ones, they're able to ignore that voice in the back of their head that says, this woman, she actually has the right idea. And so that's it. Women dislike other women on the extremes. The promiscuous women are a threat, but the chaste women are a painful reminder. How do you meet women if you're constantly surrounded by men? Is it possible to deny your own biological nature and still be happy? And how do you communicate your needs without coming across as needy? All of those videos and many more are available exclusive to my Patreon page, including my latest.
All right. So I'm going to stop that video right there. And guys, I'm about to share another video. I would love to really hear your honest opinions. Like, women, why is it so hard for y'all to trust other women? Like, if we can't trust each other, why should we expect men to trust us? I mean, that's only but a fair question, right? And I'm a woman asking. This is not to bring anybody down, to judge anybody. But I am kind of curious of why we are hurting each other the way we are. Why are we hurting the wrong ones? If we wanted payback, why not give it to the person that did it? But let's move on to the next topic, guys. And after this video, I will be doing a part 2 tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but I will tag as many people as I can, because YouTube has a tendency of not letting me, giving out notifications. So let's watch this. Video is more a little like biblical, my bad. And it says that the Bible warned us to never trust a woman. So I don't know how true this is, but let's see what the Bible says.
Delilah. The birth of Samson is one of unusual circumstances. His father is Manoah from the tribe of Dan, and Manoah's wife is a barren woman. Samson's birth is announced by an angel to Manoah's wife whilst she is alone. During this encounter, the angel gives Manoah's wife strict instructions regarding her soon-to-be child, because her child, Samson, is going to be a Nazirite. In Numbers chapter 6, verses 2 through 5, God gave instructions for those who would take a Nazirite vow to separate themselves to the Lord for a specific time. They needed to avoid drinking wine or alcohol. Their hair was not to be cut, and no razor was to come upon their heads. In
Oh shit! So the phrase of men not shaving their hair, cutting their hair or shaving their beard, is true. Oh snap!
Samson's case, he was chosen by God to be a Nazirite until the day of his death, and even his mother was to abide by the terms of the Nazirite vow during her pregnancy. As he grew, God blessed him. Samson was an unusual man with untold potential. God had a plan for Samson. He was to lead the army of Israel against their enemies, and as a result, God gave Samson strength. He is known as the strongest man in the Bible. Samson had unusual strength. He was so strong, he killed a lion with his bare hands. Samson is so strong that he defeated an army of 1,000 men. 1,000 men! Although Samson is the strongest man in the Bible, he had a weakness, and his weakness was for a woman called Delilah. This strong man had a weakness, and his weakness was women, and in particular, a woman called Delilah. Samson had a fatal attraction. Do you know what a fatal attraction is? The definition of a fatal attraction is an attraction between an individual and someone or something that is so strong, the individual lacks reason and logic in their thinking when dealing with their attraction. Now let us focus on Delilah. Delilah was a woman who loved money. She was a woman who was self-seeking and self-absorbed, and the lords of the Philistines approached her and instructed her to entice Samson and find out where his great strength lied, and by what means they may overpower him. They went on to state that if she succeeded, every one of them will give her 1,100 pieces of silver. And she agrees.
Basically, she was using Samson. She didn't really love him, and he just had a fatal attraction towards her.
To this arrangement, she proceeded to develop somewhat of a relationship with Samson, and on 3 separate occasions, she asks him what the source of his strength is. And on each of those 3 occasions, Samson lies to her about the source of his strength. And on each of those 3 occasions, Samson finds himself in the situation he lied to her about. Judges chapter 16, verses 6 through 12. So Delilah said to Samson, "Please tell me where your great strength lies, and with what you may be bound to afflict you." And Samson said to her, "If they bind me with 7 fresh bowstrings not yet dried, then I shall become weak and be like any other man." So the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 fresh bowstrings not yet dried, and she bound him with them. Now men were lying in wait, staying with her in the room. And she said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." But he broke the bowstrings as a strand of yarn breaks when it touches fire. So the secret of his strength was not known. Then Delilah said to Samson, "Look, you have mocked me and told me lies. Now, please tell me what you may be bound with." So he said to her, "If they bind me securely with new ropes that have never been used, then I shall become weak and be like any other man." Therefore,
so was he putting her to the test? Like, was he putting Delilah through the test? Should we as women, should men sit here first and do their research? Would it be a good idea if women put the men through the test, or men put women through the test to see if they really loved them or cared for them? How would it work out if men put women through the test, or women put them through the test to figure out, the reality of any type of question that they're asked?
or Delilah took new ropes and bound him with them and said to him, "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." and men were lying in wait, staying in the room, but he broke them off his arms like a thread. This happened for a third time also, and her attempt failed once again. In Delilah's last-ditch effort, she manipulated Samson by saying, "How can you say, 'I love you,' when your heart is not with me? You have mocked me these 3 times and have not told me where your great strength lies." And because Samson was stuck in lust or love or emotion or whatever it was, he finally told her the truth after she had betrayed him 3 times already. He said, "No razor has ever come upon my head, for I have been a Nazirite to God from my mother's womb. If I am shaven, then my strength will leave me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man." Now I want to highlight how evil Delilah was and how she only had love for one
Damn, she sounds like she's worse than Lilith.
thing, and that was money. Delilah called the lords of the Philistines to come to her with her money in their hands. And the Bible says in verse 19, "Then she lulled him to sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head." Her pretended love for Samson for the sake of money is deeply troubling. But this is the exact same world we live in today. It is full of people like this. Don't be
Yo, that's a freaking fact. A lot of women are like Delilah. Shit. I'm about to put a picture of Delilah and Lilith together. I gotta sit here and do a thumbnail because it's true, yo. A lot of women. This is not for all women. So please, women, if the shoe don't fit, don't try to put that bitch on. But if the shoe fits, wear that bitch. Because it's true, a lot of women manipulate men to get what they want nowadays, and that's the biggest problem. And I know a lot of men use women, but the women choose for these men to use them. They let them. Because you got me fucked up if you think that I'm gonna sit here and let a man live in my house and not help me, not work, not do what he gotta do to help me and him both come up. And I'm gonna be the only one working? Nah, for all stories that I be hearing, women getting cheated on, they're the ones paying the bills, they're giving them their welfare money, their SSI money. Yeah. So I wonder where those women lie. Why do y'all choose to get used? Why do y'all want to be in a toxic relationship? Because a man will only go as far as a woman lets him unless, you know, he's a predator out there. And I hope y'all know what I mean by that.
naive. Not everyone that smiles at you is wishing you well. Not everyone who comes into your life has good intentions. Not every beautiful face has a beautiful soul. Don't be naive. Judges chapter 16, verses 21 through 22. Then the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza. They bound him with bronze fetters, and he became a grinder in the prison. However, the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaven. Even strong men have weaknesses. Even strong men have struggles. David was a great man, but he had a problem with women. Wise King Solomon is known as the wisest king in the Bible, but he had weaknesses. Job, who is described as an upright and blameless man, had a weakness with his eyes, so much so that he had to make a covenant with his eyes. Samson operated on his emotions. Samson operated in his emotions and decided to ignore all the glaring red flags. This woman attempted to subdue him on 3 separate occasions and failed because Samson had lied to her. Samson knew for a fact this woman was out to get him. Samson knew that this woman could not be trusted, hence why he lied to her on 3 separate occasions. And in the world we live,
And once again, men, if y'all know that the woman is capable of doing something, why do y'all stay? I asked the women the same question. If you know that a man is capable of doing this, why stay? That's why I suggest that a lot of men and a lot of women, and trust me, I'm not a counselor or a therapist. Listen, take some time. If you've been through some trauma in a relationship, take some time to get to know you. Take some time to learn how to love yourself. Don't hop right into the next relationship because all you're going to do is hurt the next person while you're still hurting yourself. But that's my opinion. And that's just my advice. Let's put it like that. That's my honest opinion and the best advice that I can give a lot of people out here.
Living today, there are still women like Delilah who are self-seeking and self-absorbed, who will do whatever it takes to get their agendas forward, who will quite literally stab you in the back. There are so many men's lives who have been ruined because of a Delilah. This is the harsh reality of the world. There are indeed some God-fearing, wonderful women in this world. Look hard enough and you will find them. However, there are also women exactly like Delilah in this same.
And that's a fact. Like, there's too many gold digging women out here, and they get noticed more than what the good women out here get noticed. And listen, unless we break this cycle, it's going to keep happening. And it seems like we're creating more and more Delilahs. We're creating more and more Liliths. But that's my opinion, once again.
World. And in your life, you need to make sure that, unlike Samson, you do not let lust and emotion cloud your judgment. As a man or woman, if you want to make a bad decision based on your emotions and feelings or lust. And today, we're going to learn a lesson against two things. And those two things are emotions and lust. 1. Emotions. We all have emotions, and emotions are not evil.
Let me ask both you men and women, do a lot of us react off of our emotions? Do we react off of lust instead of wisdom, knowledge, and logic? How many feel that nowadays we react off of emotions and off of lust? And is that our biggest problem? So if anybody does catch the replay, let us surely know what y'all think.
Evil. Having emotions is not a weakness. However, nowhere in the Bible are we encouraged to listen to our emotions. Nowhere in the Bible are we instructed to follow our emotions. You cannot be dictated by your feelings. But this is exactly what Delilah told Samson to do. She said, "How can you say I love you when your heart is not with me?" Delilah was a cunning woman, and she appealed to his emotions. She did not appeal to his mind, because if she did, his mind would have told him, "Don't trust this woman. Look at her track record of deceit." But Delilah tugged on his emotions. As a man or a woman, you cannot make decisions based on your feelings. If you want to ruin your life, make a decision based on your feelings. Samson was a great man, but his feelings blinded him of the hardcore facts that he was dealing with an evil woman. And there are people who are listening to me right now who, just like Samson, have been called to do amazing things, but they have a weakness in their life. And if we are going to be 100% honest with one another, I can say I have done and made some bad decisions in my life because of emotions. Rather than making a decision based on my knowledge of the Word of God, I made a decision based on my feelings. We all have. You will not find a single verse in this Bible where God encourages you to follow your feelings or where God communicates to a person through his or her feelings. Feelings can be deceptive. Feelings change. And if we are truly going to be honest, feelings are confusing. Look at how many people in the world who loved one another a decade ago, and fast forward 10 years later, they hate one another. Feelings change. Don't be ruled by your feelings like Samson. Be interested in the person's character. If Samson was interested in Delilah's character, he would have known that, yes, I am really into this girl. Yes, she is the most beautiful woman I have ever seen, but she is an evil woman who loves money more than anything else. 2. Lust. Lust will make a strong man weak. Isn't that some truth? Lust will make a strong man weak. Lust will make a strong woman weak. Lust will cloud your judgment. Lust will destroy you. Lust will break up your home. Lust will destroy your health. Lust will take your money away. Lust will rob you of your joy. Lust will throw you into a hole deeper than you ever thought you could go. Lust will put a wall between you and God. One more time. Lust will put a
And that's a fact. I think that a lot of problems nowadays is the trust issues. A lot of people shouldn't hop into relationships if they can't trust that person. If there's no trust, there's no love. So I feel as though, like I said, once again, a lot of us need to do our research before hopping into a relationship. A lot of us, before we bring a man into our bed and we have kids, we need to find out everything about them. And it's vice versa for y'all men. I feel as though that a lot of us shouldn't sit here and keep pinning the blame on the ones that didn't hurt us. Because as women and as men, we have the tendency of pushing away the ones that are there for us and keeping right next to us the ones that who really don't want what's good for us, the ones that keep giving us the worst advice, when in reality all they want is what we can give. And then when we have nothing, they leave you right there stranded with no worries in the world. I learned a long time ago why a lot of these old heads told me not to always be nice. Real shit. So I understand why a lot of women are scorned. What I can't understand is why treat each other like shit. Why fight each other? Why argue with each other if the majority of the problems that are happening with each other have nothing to do with each other? And I don't know how many of y'all understand that, but it's kind of like right now we're living, there's so many Delilahs, there's so many Liliths. We got so many selfish women. Like, what's the point of hating, your boyfriend's ex or your husband's ex? That's what she is. She's meant to be in the past. If your husband proved to you or your boyfriend proved to you in so many ways that what's happened to you is not going to happen, so what's the problem with being happy? A lot of us women, I don't understand. It's like we choose to be miserable. We want to be toxic. Not me. I'm just speaking in general. I'm not saying that it's you. It doesn't have to always be you, the person that's watching. Once again, this channel is meant to bring awareness. I showed y'all them 2 clips, right? And on part 2, well, let me show y'all one clip before I end this live. One more clip. Because I'm trying to figure out what is it with us women that is stopping us from uniting and coming together. Why is it that we have so much hate and so much jealousy towards each other? But yet women are scared to speak on these topics. So let's listen to this. This is a clip from the 4 weapons women use against each other. And this is Oprah's life class, Oprah Winfrey's network.
What we're talking about in tonight's life class, every woman call your friend, and those who are not, is how women mistreat each other. So the few men who are here today, just hold on.
Y'all gonna get some secret information.
It's why women treat each other the way we do, the way we dishonor each other, and more importantly, why we do it. We gossip and we lie and we compete. Now, men compete, but why is it different? How is it different?
Because I think very often as women, we are conditioned and programmed to believe that if you get yours, there won't be enough for me. Or that if you get yours, I won't get.
How many of y'all women believe that's true? Why should we be jealous of the next woman? We already got him. What are you jealous of? Ladies, if you got the man, right? If you are holding his gun and you're holding his money, Why are you jealous?
And men don't think like that. Men is like, if I get mine, I ain't worried about you. Okay,
That's right. But this is interesting because I say this to my girls at school all the time. I think that is the message and program of oppressed people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Because when you have been raised in an environment where you are accustomed to success and you are accustomed to excellence, then that's what you expect of yourself and you expect it of other people. But if you have not been, when other people become successful, it makes you feel threatened and challenged.
And also because we have a chip in our hard drive.
And that's my biggest question. What is the biggest problem in us women motivating the next woman, and us women bringing up the next woman and lifting her up, uplifting her, making her feel like she is worth something instead of making her feel like she's worthless? Because even when women don't have they don't even know this woman, for some reason they already threatened, and it could be the greatest woman in the world. There's so many great women out here, but you know what's crazy? The bad women outshine them. The ratchetness outshines everything, and that really messes me up in the head.
As women that leads us to be people pleasers.
Yes.
So we're thinking, how can I please people and please me too? So that if I'm pleasing me, the program says that I'm taking something away from you. So the best thing for me to do is to get rid of you in some form or fashion.
Yes.
So that I can have what I need.
How many people in here know what we're talking about? Women.
Raise your hand.
How many? Has anybody in here been betrayed, gossiped about, or lied on by another woman? Yeah.
Another woman.
Another woman. Another woman.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. I can honestly say that the meanest things that have ever happened to me came from other women.
Yeah, it is true.
Okay, so let's make it very clear. For tonight's class, give us the main ways that women hurt each other. Let's talk about that.
We betray one another.
Betrayal.
Our confidence. You tell me and then I tell 50 other people. Or you tell me and in 30 seconds it's on Twitter, Facebook. We betray one another.
Why do women gossip so much? See, I don't like the drama. But why do we gossip? And I mean, a lot of women don't gossip in a good way. They gossip in a messed up way.
Starts in middle school.
We gossip, what I call third-party conversations. Instead of telling you your butt too big, I'm telling Mary and Shaquita and Nancy. You understand? And here you are sitting in front of me with the dress too short, the butt too big, and I ain't said nothing to you.
Okay.
That's a third-party conversation. Okay. The other thing we do is we lie to one another. We withhold information. Or we change and shift information.
Okay.
We lie. And the other thing that we do, we talked about, is we compete. We compete. If you get yours, there's not enough for me. We got to learn.
But isn't healthy competition good?
I'm not talking about healthy competition that you learn in the Leadership Academy.
Okay.
I'm talking about I'm going to take you down.
So let's come back and talk about why we do it. Okay. So those are the four main ways. Everybody familiar with that, right? You've experienced it or been a part of it yourself.
Here comes some healing. I feel it. Hold my hand. Here comes some healing.
Okay.
Have you ever done it? That's what we got to hear. Hello.
Hello. Let us heal ourselves.
And that's the fact.
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. I see in you.
We're ready to learn. What are the main reasons women betray each other? Why?
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred.
Self-hatred. I see in you what I refuse to see in me. And as long as I can point it out to you, I don't have to look at me. So as a result of self-hatred.
And that's true. A lot, like I keep saying, you got to learn how to love yourself in order to love anybody else. But I see back here on the board, it says why women betray each other. Number one says we don't honor relationship. And I understand that part. See, because a lot of women don't respect other women's relationships. They tempt to the point where the man falls for temptation. And see, I can understand where a lot of women have insecurities, but when you have a man that isn't tempted and is there for you and he rejects the women and he shows you everything, why push him away? We seek external validation. Once again, we got to learn how to love ourselves. We need to love ourselves, embrace who we are. We do not honor ourselves, and that's a fact. A lot of us bring ourselves down too much. We mimic what we've seen. Yup, a lot of women want to be other women. We hold unrealistic demands, and that's facts. That's a fact. A lot of women expect for men to give them what they're not even capable of giving them back. Real shit. We demand for men to give us what we won't even think about giving them back.
We don't honor our relationships. The other thing is because we seek external validation, we're programmed, everybody is. And when you don't treat me the way I think you should treat me, I'm going to make it about you and I'm coming after you. But because we seek external validation and we want other people to make us feel good and look good and feel better. And when we don't get it, then we get mean.
Yes.
The other thing is we just don't honor who we are.
This is the absolute key thing that Iyanla said about self-hatred. This is the truth. This is how you know the difference between a really successful woman and one who's just trying to be a wannabe. Because truly successful, powerful people want other people to be empowered. From the very beginning.
I know that a lot of people don't like Oprah Winfrey. I myself, I'm a little, with Oprah because, everything I've seen and heard about her. But that right there, she did make a good point. I don't agree with everything she says either. Trust and believe that. But right here, this was a good conversation. This was a great topic, and it relates to everything I want to know about.
Beginning of this network, Iyanla's been my biggest supporter, and she said, I'm going to help you push this baby out. I'm going to help you. I'm going to help lift you up. Truly successful people want to lift you up because they want you to feel the light that they feel. That is the difference between those who want to be. That's how you always know.
Okay. There's a principle of success that says the way to achieve your own success is to be willing to help somebody else get it first.
Yeah.
I learned that.
Yeah.
So I want you to get it. Yeah. And I want to support you and bless you and give that to the universe because if I do, I know it's going to come back to me.
Because what Whoopi Goldberg said is Celie in The Color Purple is true because everything I even try to do to you is already done to me.
Bonnie, mama, Bonnie. I saw that the other day, weeping like a fool.
And you've seen it 29 times, right?
No, at least 100.
Okay. So everything you try to do to somebody else is already done to you, whether that's a good thing lifting them up or whether it's trying to tear them down.
That's right.
We also mimic what we've seen.
Yes. And we've seen other women do it. Your older sister, your mother, your auntie, your grandma. We've seen them do it. Women who didn't know their true value, didn't honor themselves. And finally, we mimic it because we hold unrealistic expectations of you. What you gonna do for me? What you gonna give me? What you got? Where you going? We have unrealistic demands and expectation of one
But the main one, I think it starts with what you said in the beginning. It starts with our own self-loathing, our own self-hatred. Because when you get there, if you're just working, doing your own life work, that's right. Which is what Iyanla Fix My Life is all about. If you're doing your own life work,
you don't have time.
You don't have time to worry about the rest of the world and all the other people.
And that's a fact. So basically they said everything I've been saying. I don't know how many of y'all agree with me, but women, we need to learn how to start respecting ourselves. And I'm not saying everybody. Once again, like this is not meant for the shoe to fit everybody, but if the shoe fits, wear that bitch, man. Not all women are women. Not all women are real women. Some of these females are itches. They're Delilahs and Liliths. They're liars and deceivers. So this is just crazy because I'm talking to myself. So I would like to get a lot more input. So like I said, I might have part 2. But here, I'm going to give everybody a message, right? And this is a message coming from y'all shorty, right? Our beauty doesn't come from the outside. Our beauty comes from the inside. And you're never going to, and this is for women, you're not going to trap a man by getting pregnant, by having a body that looks like an hourglass, by wearing tons of makeup, by doing, I don't know what the hell you do with your hair. Listen, you keep a man by being real with him. The same way he treats you, you treat him by supporting him. He's going to support back. He provides for you. You treat him good. You don't cheat on him. You don't lie to him. None of the above. By being faithful, being honest, you marry your best friend. You don't sit here and marry a stranger. When you're with a man, make sure that man honors you the same way you honor yourself, that he respects you. That you're not sitting here with a man that calls you out your name. Don't take the abuse. Love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, you can't love nobody else. Hold on one second, guys. All right. So this is all the time that I got right now. I'm going to talk a little more on part 2 because I got a little more to say and I got more videos to show. I got to find my TikTok videos again. I want to thank everybody that has, shown up to the Writers for Life, Brings You Let's Talk About It podcast. I apologize, if I was a little slow or whatever the reason is. But, my shorty is popping on and off on me. So I'm doing the best that I can, especially talking to a screen. I hope, to see all of y'all on part 2 of this live, and let's talk, let's communicate through the chat, whether you want to hop on the live and speak. What is stopping us women from breaking the cycle? Do we really hate each other that much? And instead of making the next person that is not hurting you pay for the consequences that the last person did, move on. Love yourself, respect yourself. I mean, it's kind of hard to, I don't know what else to say, but you know what? On part 2, I'm have a little more to say. Let me get to my daughter. So once again, I want to thank everybody. I'm gonna let her say bye to everybody. Come here, baby, because she had wanted to say bye. I'm about to end this live, so I hope everybody has a. All right, she sat back down. I hope everybody has a blessed and humble day. I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Oh well, it's today already. It's already the 15th. Shit. My birthday. When is my birthday? Oh, snap. We're on the 15th already? Damn. My birthday's on Saturday. Damn. So I want to thank everybody once again. And on part 2, I'll talk a little more. But y'all kind of get my idea. I'm hoping people get the grasp the thing. I'm hoping that, more women can come together and, let bygones be bygones. Is it really that hard to forgive? Is it really that hard to forgive? Is it really that hard to respect one another? I'm just kind of curious because I know that a lot of women are scoring in so many ways. And I'm hoping that on part 2, we could also get men. Men, why is it so hard to really trust a woman? Because I've seen a lot of men move on. But I want to know, why? Why is your reason? Or is there any reason to not trust a woman? But I've noticed that when it comes to trust issues, neither men trust women and women have a hard time trusting other women. Can we come together? Will there be a point in time where women get united and stay united? And if you don't like this person, move on. I'm just asking a question. Until next time, this y'all Shorty Rachel. Hope all of y'all have a blessed and humble morning.